guys, Rick Shaw here. Still the 27th, had my walk on the cliffs today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See some nice comments on that already. But wanted to just talk about something, and this is probably something on everyone's mind. This young fellow, Christopher Smith, I talked to him on Messenger. He works for an outfit in Manila. He's working remotely from the States, but he's looking on coming here to live probably around December or something to do the job that he's going to do. But heard his granny passed away, and I'll just read what his father had to write. I put it on my Facebook page, but I'm going to read this, and it says, in my father's words, this is what Chris wrote, and now his father's writing. It says, I am sorry, but F the convid, shot in the beer. Got to watch these algorithms. It says, my 86-year-old mom, 4 weeks ago, was living on her own, driving and living a happy life. She went in for her first shot and started signs of loss of strength in her legs. A few days following the shot, I found her on her couch with pain in her legs. She went through the following weeks losing strength in her legs. She went on a Friday for her second shot. The next morning, on Saturday, she could not walk. 2 weeks had gone by with 5 trips to the emergency room to deal with the continuous pain, and none of the doctors can identify what's happening. Can only guess. And then it just goes on. It looks like she was on life support and Dingle Wells. So she passed. The old girl passed. And it's just something that's on everyone's mind, and I don't like the fact that that we can't openly talk about this with the First Amendment. Now here's some people that are pretty sad about their loss, and there's other losses. Look at the fighter that got this what they call jab. I call it a shot in the beer, and he's gone now. I read a thing on here about a doctor who was in good health, 34 years old, got it, and poof, gone. And this is something that's getting kind of scary with this stuff. I hear now that a lot of countries are doing these shot in the beer passports that you got to get. And this is going too far, and a lot of people are pushing for this. I watch a guy on here. Santa Claus is now living in the Philippines is the name of his YouTube channel. Big bearded fella. He looks like Santa Claus. He'd be great. He'd be great at the mall. They'd hire him in a second, I'm telling you. But he said something on one of the vlogs that just because he says something that's not what I feel, I ain't going to hold it against him. That's his opinion. But he came on there and said, they should just come in here and make it all mandatory and get everybody done. Well, that's not a free society to me. On something that's important at this, you should be free to make your own choice on this. I don't know what Chris's grandma did, whether it was her own choice. More than likely it was. With health problems, with this thing in the legs, to me it seems like anybody in their right mind, a doctor or something, would have said, well, let's check this out, find out what's going on. We'll hold off on the vax for right now, and we'll see what's going on first. But there was a second one done, so it didn't go well. So this, to me, it's kind of scary. I personally myself, what anyone else wants to do is totally up to you. But as for myself, I'm just not thinking it's a good idea. That's for sure. Hearing too much stuff. Laura Ingram's had a thing on the show where she had this one doctor on, super smart guy, and he was talking against it. You could look at that up on Fox News, and look what she had to say. If they haven't taken it down already, I tried to look right before I made this video, and I couldn't find it. I punched in Laura Ingram, Fox News. They had a whole bunch of her stuff, but not that one. So maybe it's gone already. This is just, it's something nefarious is going on here with all this stuff. You got old Gil Bates. He gets on there for years. I remember watching, think this guy's a real kook, because he's talking about, on a TED Talk about, hey, and you can look that up, hey, the vaccines, we could get rid of 10 to 15% of the population, all this, and then all of a sudden he's all for it, wants to save everyone. Come on, guys, you gotta look at actions of people. Now. This, I call him Dr. Evil. This mad scientist wants to block out the sun. So much for them solar panels, guys. This is insanity. This guy's being run by somebody that's out of this world, for sure. Otherworldly, but Satan was given power on earth, and he's gonna work his things as best he could do. But I just think it's really something scary to me. Put in the comments what you think. I'm just saying, hey guys, should be your choice. I never had one of those shots and a beer. Never had the FLU ever. I actually had a sister who's passed away now who would get them, and she always got the FLU. And I used to go over there because her husband stayed away and her kids were already grown, and she'd be real sick. I'd go over to see how she was, see if I could help out, make her some chicken soup, stuff like that. That was my favorite sister. Very close. She basically took me under her wing when I was little. She was already married, and just as always, my entire life has been sweet to me. And now she's gone. Died of pneumonia. But she was one to always get them every year because she was a nurse. The doctor said this is what you should do, and always got sick. But I never got sick from being there, because it wasn't something that was airborne. It's something they injected into her, was my opinion on that subject. So very, very sad case about that. But check out old Santa Claus is now living in the Philippines, and check out some of his stuff. And I wanted to mention another guy that I talked to on the Messenger's name. I believe he's under Hayward Joe, Hayward Joe. He just started up a channel. I saw he has just a few subscribers. It's new. But I tried to watch the first video, and it only got through a few minutes, and the buffering started with my signal here, so I couldn't see it. Hopefully when I get a signal. But he had a treasure hunter that he was interviewing, and it looked kind of interesting, guys. So just check it out. If you like him, sub, and if you don't. But from what I saw, just the couple minutes of the first one he had on there, just kind of interested me, because some guy that'd been here for years and years, going down around Mindanao, treasure hunting and finding these galleons. He's got some kind of it just seemed cool to me, So we got a new guy on the block that's going to vlog. He's been here many years. I believe he said 22 years. It kind of piqued my interest. Hopefully I can get to watch. He's only got 5 or 6 bids, but I do want to say though, about Christopher and about Marion Cooper. This is, it's hitting close. These kind of things are hitting close. So be well informed on these. I don't believe the information is being properly put out there for everyone to know. They're calling it a VAX. But it's not really. It's from what I'm seeing, it's the gene therapy, Levi therapy, I guess you could call it. But just to keep the algorithms down. But be informed on this. It was run through by emergency procedure through the government and governments around. It hasn't been checked. You are the test subjects on this one, and. You got to follow the money on a lot of this stuff. One of the things here that's confusing me, anybody wants to weigh in on this, go ahead, but I've been hearing for a long time that the country I'm in now got a lot of these for free. One of my subs sent me a thing. I had saw somewhere that it was between 36 and 38 to get this dang thing. And one of the guys said, in our area it's only 2,000 peso. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, if it was given to the country free, who's getting that money? I've always been the kind of guy following the money. I'm curious. That would be something they should answer. The only thing you see here is just all these numbers from a test they're using that the maker came right out and said, it's not the right one. And then plus where they're getting it from, is it faulty? I saw a thing a couple times where the percentage was 60 to 80% false positives. Now you look this guys up yourself. This is just something that I saw. Vet all this stuff for yourself. But that's some of the numbers I've seen. And I'll get a lot of trolls on here jumping all over me for this and all this stuff. But the one thing I'm going to say is, anytime you got a decision like that to make, you don't need a government just come in, any government around the world, just say that it's mandatory. You can't do this because of that, you can't do that. That's against the Geneva Convention in The Hague and all this stuff. Medical experimentation. It's not allowed. I would definitely take that route to fight it. If somebody came and said it's mandatory and then said all of a sudden my movement is restricted because I can't, to be coerced. I read a thing on a guy had written up, and he said, if a guy tries to rape a woman, that's against her will. That's a crime. Something like this, getting these what they call the jab, if it's against your will, that to me would seem a crime also. There's something on there. I wish I could find it. If I can find it, I'll post it on while this video is running. But I'm just all for freedom of choice, guys. Make your own decision. That's just mine. I've just personally myself, I've never had it. I got some problems with my stomach, but flu was never anything that I was concerned of. Most of my life I was healthy as a horse. Just never really had any problems. When I was very young, after I got out of service, I had an ulcer, and that's when they were coming in with they said, it's not this. I was using garlic to tone it down. That's what my mother said, try, and then finally it just was really getting to me. The only thing I could do to get it to stop was to eat something, and I just didn't want to just keep eating all the time. And I found an Indian doctor who was kind of a holistic, he's an MD, but he was a holistic guy, and he said, it's an ulcer. They tested me, and he says, we found out it's a bacteria, and I got antibiotics, and it cleared up, it healed up, and never had a problem. And then when I came here to this country, I wound up getting amoeba, and I do believe that's what started my road to trouble. And not only just that caused the trouble, I think it was also the antibiotics that just wrecked my system, and I'm recovering from it. And that happened in I believe 2013, the end of 2013, and I think I'm still recovering, slowly getting better, but it's affected my whole system. Today, for example, I ate, and we were at our friend's house, and my buddy Onad's wife just makes some of the most yummy food. And I ate one plate, and I usually stop. I don't eat a whole lot. I can eat a ton of fruit and stuff like that. I don't have any problem. But if I eat any heavy foods, I'll get this terrible stomach ache. And my wife says, you want some more? And it was so dang good. I said, yeah, okay, just a little bit more. Well, when I got out, when their son come and was going to take me on the little tour for the walk, I get to where my throat gummed up, and I couldn't burp, so it was like building up in my stomach, and it put pressure on my lungs and my heart because of this stomach thing. And then when we got back, I was definitely under the weather. I wasn't feeling really good. I didn't have any of the cider vinegar, but I took a shot of the white vinegar they had, and it just cleaned the gook right out of my throat. It just cleaned it right out. So I think that plugged my stomach. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I feel in there. And then finally I was able to burp, and within 15, 20 minutes, that pressure was gone, and I was fine. And we did some walking around. Didn't do a video, but I felt much better. My heart rate went down. It peaked again. It went up pretty high. because it's just what's happening with me. I'm not one to use a doctor. I always laugh at my mother. She would say, yeah, you go to the doctor, they're really masters at putting you on the edge of death and keeping you there for the maximum amount of time to extract money out of your pocket. And she said she went to the doctor, was it 14 times in her life. And she said that was to have babies. And she said the other time was her back went and she leaned forward, and that nobody could figure out what was wrong with her. They couldn't figure it out. And finally, the old family doctor, old country boy, he said, you know something? Go see a dentist. And she went to see a dentist, had an abscess and it got in the bone and was traveling down. They had to pull her teeth to clear that thing out. And she was allergic to penicillin, so they gave her sulfur drugs, and it cleared her up pretty good. And that was the end of that problem. But she was really bummed because she lost a bunch of teeth. But she was not one to go to the doctor. I'm not one if I can help it, But I know when this thing happened to me before, had to go. Just had to go. So there's times I guess you just have to. But do guys take care and start educating yourself as much as you can on this shot in a beer thing that they're pulling. I just is concerning to me. That's basically what it is. Hope this video don't get flagged, but I do want to say, Christopher and your dad, sorry for your loss. It's really just a terrible thing when you lose somebody. I lost my mother here, and I couldn't get back. She was up there pretty good, and she got hit with sickness that just took her out quickly in a matter of a couple of days. Bad infection in her leg, and that was the end of her. Had put her in the hospital, and she was gone before I can even get back. So that was a shame. So just remember, guys, you're not promised another breath. Spend the time. Don't go to the funeral and say, oh, how wonderful they were. Get to your people now. And I hate the idea that they're starting this GQC thing here. There's liquor bans all around. There's curfews now. They don't want people getting together because of the Good Friday coming and the Easter. It ends right after that. What they're saying, but I just don't think. You got to follow the money on this. They're touting all these numbers, and all these free vaccines are coming that got to be paid for. Somebody should. I wish some investigative reporter would look into that and see what's really going on there. It's kind of scary in any country that is doing that. And then you look at a lot of places that didn't do much at all. Sweden comes to example. They're not off the charts on their numbers or anything. And a lot of people that are sick, and they're tagging it with this dang thing that's happening now. They had so many other things wrong with them, and it was the best evening. It was the somebody made one of the comedians I was watching. He made a big joke. He says, "Yeah, but something. It's really glad this came along." And the audience was like jeering this guy, and he says, "Because it cured everything else." Those numbers are all in the toilet. They're down to nothing. Everything else has been cured. And I said something in the video before. There's a lot of people that are still around because they didn't go into a hospital. You go into a hospital, you're taking your life in your hands. I think about my friend Richie all the time. He was a very good friend of mine, and his blood sugar was a little bit goofy, and he went in. I believe he went in was on a Thursday or something. We were at the funeral on Saturday because when he was in the hospital, they hit him with something. He caught a staph infection, hit his heart, and he was done for. Now he had comorbidities also. So he was very susceptible, and we lost him. And it's a shame. A lot of times they go in there and they want you to sign papers. I remember I had to go in for a back surgery. They wanted to sign a paper that said if they kill me that they're not liable, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. I had a wife and kids. They needed to get paid if something happened to me, and I wound up going to a different place. Actually, my father-in-law took me to a different doctor, and they took me in and got me going where I didn't have to do that. And I had insurance. I had the U.S. insurance there, and didn't not a dime out of my pocket. But that was something that just freaked me out. And so it is with this thing that they're the shot in the beer thing. They're not liable for any of this stuff if something goes wrong. So I would like to see some numbers on what's going on with that. If people are going. We lost our wonderful boxer. I used to love to watch that guy. I do love boxing, and I used to love to watch him. And that guy's gone. There's just a lot of people that are running into trouble. So if you got anything on there, somebody, you put it in the comments, and let's see. And I thank all you subscribers. Everything's going good. I hope this video doesn't do it, but I just thought I needed to get that out there. And don't forget to pray for each other. The good Lord has a history of prayer will change his wrath. That is a fact. And one thing, when he stopped smiling on the country, I said years ago he was going to stop smiling on the U.S. because of the killing of all these unborn children. And he did, and he gave us a fool for a leader, and these people are running their show now, and it's just I can't see anything. I talked to some of these liberals. I basically quit because they're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change theirs, so I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. But I can't get one of them to say what Trump did wrong. The only person I was going back and forth was saying, well, it was the taxes for the rich and all. Well, I never got paid by a poor guy. Everybody who gets a tax break, it should be everybody. I don't see that somebody, just because he made it, should be paying this exorbitant amount over what anyone else is. 10% is good enough for the Lord. 10% should be good enough for those guys. Work within their means. If I took my checkbook and started writing checks like crazy with nothing in the back, I might be going to jail. But yet these people do it all the time with their fiat currency that they're using on people. And these things just get me. And now they're coming up with all this stuff. I asked these same libs, okay, show me what this new guy is doing so good for you. What did he do that was good? And one of the things he took off was the little kids and the pedophilia stuff. What's that? And then opened up the border. And these people, I saw a picture of one of the women coming in there. She was a big jelly roll, supposed to have walked us thousands of miles, and she's sitting there with her iPhone. I'll see if I can find that and put it in here so you can see it. This is something coming up, and they all got Biden shirts, and they all look fresh as a daisy. I'm going to tell you what, you walk. Years ago, I ran a mini marathon for 13 miles, okay? My brother and I was beat for 3 weeks. I can only imagine walking thousands of miles all the way from Guatemala all the way up through Mexico to the border. Come on, that didn't happen, guys. Open your eyes. Start looking at the stuff that's going on around us. And then I said it before. I was going to say it one more time. I'm going to let you go. Gil Bates has been touting. It was on a TED Talk. He's talking about, the shots in the beer. To lower the population. We could probably, if we do a good job, we can maybe get 10 to 15% down. And he's been talking about this. There's been newspaper articles. Now the dude thinks he's God, wants to block the sun. So much for the solar panels, guys. But who put him in charge? Just because he's a billionaire? There's lots of people who are billionaires, and he's got this power because he's on that side. And they do run the show. I didn't elect this guy to anything. I call him Dr. Evil, because if you watch that Austin Powers, Dr. Evil's a zany nutbag. And I'm starting to think so is Gil Bates. I think his mind is lost. And it seems to me all these crazy ones in power, they got manshees for their so-called woman. But I'm going to let you go, and just don't forget, talk to your Heavenly Father daily. I do. I'm teaching my kids that way. I get some people on there that are atheists, and I see some terrible comments. that they trust in science more than that, and I hope that something will change their mind. I actually did know a guy. I know I'm going on a little bit, but I did know a guy, Brian, way back, big-time atheist and stuff. Lost his wife, blamed the good Lord. Hey, wait a minute, I thought you were an atheist. Oh, well, and then he wound up getting converted, became a preacher to this day, and nobody could believe it. This guy was a biker, robber, big troublemaker and stuff. He actually felt so bad about some of the things he'd done. He turned himself on one thing and did some time in jail. And he preached in there too. And he came out and was getting these guys out and converted a lot of people. Look at Matthew. He was a tax collector, hated by the people. When the Lord calls you, you're called, guys. You're called. He's not going to use some rich guy wearing purple in them days and all that stuff. He'll call whoever he needs. Jesus didn't come into this world rich in money, what everybody expected. He came in as just a regular dude and sacrificed himself for us guys. And that was something that, I sit back sometimes and think to myself, could I have done that? Man, he knew what was coming, guys. And I like that Mel Brooks movie about what happened. It was very graphic, but I watched that and I was thinking, they just brutalized the guy. And then of course, crucifixion's a horrible thing, and it was rough. The good Lord, didn't give him more than he could take, just like promises us. So I'm gonna let you go. Pray for each other. This is Rick Shaw out.